Hi, welcome to CustomsBrokerGeek.com, Customs Broker Exam Course. This is Module 1, Preparing for the Exam. My name is Brian. Along with Nate, Marek, and myself, we're going to take you through the Customs Broker Exam Course. So Module 1 is really the most important module, we feel, in the course. It sets the tone for the class, it shows you how to study, it shows you how to practice, and it really helps you prepare your materials so that you're ready to go into the exam and start studying. So pay attention. Please go ahead, pause if you need to take notes. Go back if you have to, watch something again. Feel free to rewind and go back. But let's get started. So we're going to start with the exam. So the exam itself is 80 multiple choice questions. You have 4.5 hours to complete the exam. This was recently raised a few years back from 4 hours to 4.5 hours. So it gives you a little extra time now. You need a 75% or greater to pass. And the pass rates average between 3 and 20%. Wow, 3% pass rate. When you look at that, on average, between 1,200 and 1,600 people take the exam, each test, 3% pass. That's crazy. Even the 20%, that's still nuts. So let's break that down a little bit, though. So 3% pass rate. If we put this into perspective, the bar exam for lawyers has a 68% pass rate on average. The American Board of Internal Medicine, 86%. And then there's the Customs Broker exam, less than 10%. But if we put this in perspective, bar exam, lawyers, doctors, they're going to school on average for 7 to 8 years. You got your 4 years of college to get your bachelor's, and then additional years to become a lawyer, become a doctor. So you're looking at like 7, 8 years of studying, of preparing for these, of getting to the point where they can take these exams and pass. So when you're doing that, a 68% and 86% seem logical. For the broker's exam, you're taking on average 10, 12 weeks to study. You're cramming for it. You're doing all the work. You're reading everything. Could be possibly for the first time. And you only have 10, 12 weeks to prepare. So that's why it's kind of a lower passing rate when you think of it that way. So why is it so hard? Well, the test, it's not about what you know. It's about what's in the regulations and what's in the tariff books. You can't rely on the job practice and memorization to pass this exam. It's all about finding answers exactly as it's written in the regulations and then finding it quickly. You want to find that exact regulation that they're talking about so that you can cite it, source it, and say, hey, this is the answer. This is exactly word for word, verbatim, what they're saying. And a lot of the times it's so hard is because people don't practice. They may study, they may read the regulations, learn how to classify, but they're not putting themselves in the situation of a test. I know some people that are very smart, some of the smartest people I know in the industry, but they crack under the stress of a test situation. So part of the courses we're going to show you is to take questions in a practice exam situation. Set yourself up maybe in a library, go somewhere where you're out of your norm, and set up to take the exam the way it's going to be given, so that when you do take the test, you're comfortable. That's not one of the factors that's going to hinder you from passing the exam. So how to pass the broker's exam. We're going to teach you how. One of those ways is to answer the way Customs wants you to answer. We're going to show you how to look the answers up. To find that regulation that they're quoting verbatim. To find that list of things that the one item is missing. To see something that's true or false. To go into the HTS book and find the note in the statistical notes that says that this answer is correct. We're going to show you how to do that. We're also going to show you how to find it fast. Memorization will not work on this exam. Neither will cramming. So, some strategies for success. Well, one is do not leave any questions blank. This is not like an SAT course or ACT course, test rather. If you don't answer the question, it's wrong. Okay, so every question, 80 questions have to be answered. If you get to the point of the exam where you have very little time left but questions left, you're going to want to take a chance and guess. You have a 25% chance of getting it right, 1 out of 4. So guess. If you absolutely have no time to look it up, just guess. You're going to have an average of 3.5 minutes per question. So we want you to practice that way. When you're taking the homework, when you're doing the quizzes, we want you to get in that habit of having 3.5 minutes to answer a question. You're not going to have all night. Maybe the first time you do it, you're going to go run through it, but then the second time, hold yourself to that 3.5 minutes. See how you're going to do under that situation. Again, practice how you're going to take the test. And then study the material that's going to be on the test. Don't waste time on something that may not be even on the test. Let's focus on the high testing areas and learn those so that we know when those come up, you'll get them right. So talking about what's going to be on the test, we're going to cheat. We're going to tell you what's going to be on the test. It's not actually cheating. It's going to feel like it, but it's actually not. Customs post all past exams. So if you go onto their website, there's probably exams on there dating back to like 2008, 2009. So you can see what they tested. One of the things we do is we review. We compile a list of what was tested, and we kind of break down the most tested sections so that we focus on those. We put a higher visibility on those sections so that you get used to doing them, and it's going to be on there. So we know it's going to be on there, and you get the study time in on it. So let's look at what's been on the test for the last 10 years. On the left, you'll see the category and percent of questions. As you can see, classification is on top at over 28% of the test is classification. The next highest tested section is valuation at 8%. So what does that tell you right off the bat? There has to be a heavy focus on classification, and we put a lot of focus on it. We have 2 modules dedicated just to classification. So again, focus on what's going to be tested most. Do not waste any time or effort on sections that won't be on the test. As I mentioned, doing poorly on classification will but guarantee that you will fail. Whereas messing up on like foreign trade zone, it's not going to be the end of the world. When you have something like transportation entries, special procedures, foreign trade zones, that's less than 1%. It's around 1% each of each exam. So why focus heavily on those? We're going to touch on those. We're going to show you where they're at. And again, you're not going to memorize those information, but if you know where it's at, when it does come up, you know where to go to find those answers. But we want to make sure that you're focused on classification, valuation, compliance, free trade agreements, the process, and the actual entry of merchandise. Because those right there are the bulk of the test. If you don't master those, you'll have a hard time on the exam. So study time is important. We've established it's hard. We recommend 10 to 12 weeks. We recommend a minimum of 6 weeks. But we try to tell people 10 to 12 weeks is ideal. It's going to be about 150 hours of study time. That's a lot, 150 hours. But you know what? The sooner you start, the less hours per day you're going to need. Let's break that down a little bit. So here are some sample study plans. If you look at 10 to 12 weeks, you're looking at 2 to 3 hours a day of weekdays. So that means you're coming home after working, having dinner, hanging out with the family, and then studying for 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. That's nothing. That's going to allow you to sit down and read, to understand the material, to take practice exams, to do the homework on each module, to watch the videos and really soak it in. When it's 2 hours a night, if it's something you didn't understand, you can go back and take extra time if you want to review those videos, the text, the regulations, till you understand the material. And at the end of studying that night, you're not going to be stressed out after 2 to 3 hours. On the weekends, 4 to 5 hours a day. And that's going to total 180 hours. Whereas if you look at the 6-week study plan, you're looking at almost 4 hours a day every weekday. 8 hours on your weekends per day. So that's a lot of time taking out of your schedule just to cram in 150 hours. So in that 6-week plan, yes, you can do it. It can be done, but it's going to be a little more hectic. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of effort you're going to have to put in. And that means a lot more stress. Whereas between 10 and 12 weeks, you can do these modules, read the text, read the material, take the questions, take the homework, and be less stressed and absorb the information better. Practice with your test materials. Okay, so now you're going to want to wait till Customs puts out the announcement to purchase any books. The last thing you want to do is buy books and it's the wrong version, because questions will be tailored to the versions that they're looking to test on. If you have a different version, you may not have the correct material in front of you and you can answer the question wrong. We've seen this happen. So wait for the announcement before you actually purchase material. If you want to get started early, use the online versions. Just Google 19 CFR, U.S. Harmonized Tariff Codes. You can use the online versions to actually read, to study from, and you'll have plenty of time. They normally post the notice well in advance so that you can still purchase the books. We recommend you get the loose leaf title 19 Code of Federal Regulations. Sorry about that. Also the loose leaf harmonized tariff schedule. If it's required, you'll need the Customs and Trade Automated Interface Requirements, the CATER, which we'll provide to you as well for download, as well as any Customs directives and supplemental materials. Again, all this will be advised in the announcement. They're going to say, hey, use this version of the federal regulations, use this version of the tariff book. You're going to need the CATER for this specific CATER, and then these specific directives. We'll help out with the CATER and the directives. We'll have them there for download. You will need to purchase, though, the HTS and the CFR. Prepare your materials. This is key. This is half the process. Reading the material, understanding is one thing, but making sure your materials are prepared correctly so that you can navigate them quickly and get to the sections you need to get to is key. It's half the battle, really. We recommend that you get an oversized rack to hold your regulations and harmonized tariff in one place. Again, an oversized rack, you can find them on Amazon probably. This is something that you can put your regs in the front, the HTS to the right, and it's in one thing right in front of you. Real estate's going to be tight at these exam sites, so having them like this right in front of you, it's going to be easy to read and help you understand better. If you have them in binders, you're going to be moving binders all around, dropping them. It's going to be very uncomfortable. This really is the best way to do it. You tab your materials using the tabs that we recommend. They're going to go on nice and easy. You'll be able to label them easy. They're just help you navigate better. Again, it's all about navigating. Have little flags too, so that you can place flags in certain areas for certain things that you want to mark. Whereas you don't want to tab it so much to go around, but maybe you want to mark a page with a flag or something like that you think might come in handy. And then highlight with a strategy. We're going to show you how to do that. So what do we mean by highlight with a strategy? Well, the first part is using 5 different colored highlighters. We recommend using blue for time periods, months, years, days, green for any type of fees, payments, or monetary items, pink for penalties, orange for customs forms, and then yellow for other important notes. This will help you get a quick visual to where you're looking. If you get a question for how much is the application fee on a license, here's where you can turn to CFR 111.12, and right off the bat, your eyes will go to the green. So you may have a couple things highlighted in green on the page, but if you're under 12, there's only one thing highlighted in green. Your eyes will go right to that, and you can see $200 application fee. If you know where to go, you could probably answer this in a minute and a half, and you just saved yourself 2 minutes somewhere. Same thing with orange, customs forms. Question could be, what customs form is used on an application for a license? So here you are. You know it's in 111. You look in the index for 111. You see it's .12, and boom, your eyes go right to that orange. It's customs form 3124. You have your title of the chapter right there, and in orange, it just goes right there. It's a quick thing. But also when highlighting, if you notice to the right, everything's not highlighted. Okay, and this is for a purpose. If you highlight everything, what's the point of highlighting? So you don't want to highlight the whole paragraph. You just want to highlight the words that you need to read so that you can understand what's being said. So if you look at the giant paragraph on the right side there under application for a license, you can see in yellow we have highlighted application, broker's license, so we know what it is. Submitted in duplicate, so right off the bat, you know it's got to be duplicate. Director of the port where applicant intends to do business. So right there, it's who it's being sent to, where it's being sent, and what port. And as well as which customs form it's going to be on, accompanied by $200 application fee. And you can see how much other is not there. I mean, the odds of them asking if you're going to be under oath for an application of a license is very tiny. But you know it could be a question on what form, how much, and what else do you know, how many copies do you need? Where does it have to be filed? Your eyes can quickly go to this. You can understand it and read. And again, it's just something that's going to save you time, and it's going to be direct to what you need. Be consistent. Study every day. Do the homeworks, do the modules, read the text, watch the videos, practice questions. Every day you should be studying and touching it, making sure that you understand what's going on in the module. This way you understand the information, you can pass the quiz, go to the next module. You want to make sure that that information gets absorbed and you know how to navigate the books. We talked about this before with the plan. The sooner you start, the less daily stress you're going to put on yourself. When you only have to study 2 to 3 hours a day, it's just a better situation. You're going to be more calmer. You're going to understand the material better. Whereas if you're studying 5-6 hours, you're going to be stressing yourself out. And it's just not going to be absorbed. You're going to miss something. You're going to go through things quickly. It's not going to be useful. Get help. Find a course that's going to teach you each section. That makes a huge difference, okay? And also you want to find a course that's going to work for you. Some people prefer it online because of their time schedule. We try to break it down in easy to read sections, easy to teach sections so that you absorb it quickly. If this is not for you, there's a ton of other classes out there as well. But it's really key that you find that course that you can work well with. And form a study group. There's other people in the same situation as you in each port. Find them. Maybe meet once a week. It's good to ask questions. I think the biggest thing is it's almost like a support group, because if you see other people going through this, 12 weeks to apply yourself to this is a long time. You're going to need some help to get through it. And, we try to do that with calls and being on email, through Facebook, to encourage everybody. And we're there for you. But sometimes having that other people right around you that's going through it helps it make it better for everybody. Okay, use the proven strategy. Each question is worth 1.25 points. So we're into the easy ones first. By the easy ones, we mean the questions that are easy to read, short, you can look them up quickly and answer them quickly. You're going to have some questions that are one-liners that you can knock out easily, and then you're going to have that half-page to a page question where it's a lot of reading, a lot of numbers you have to write down and see what's useful and what's not going to be useful. So if you can attack the easy questions first, that helps you build up some time in your time bank so that you have a little more than 3.5 minutes to tackle those big questions. But just remember, every question is worth the same value. Look for words that will help you eliminate answers. Words like only, never, always. Use those so that right off the bat you can eliminate some eliminate some answers, so that now instead of having to look up 4 things, you're looking up 3 or two things. Help see those words so that you understand what they're actually asking the question. And Customs loves to do this. A double negative makes a positive. Please remember that. So what are the next steps? Well, if you didn't already, read the text for lesson 1. Complete the homework assignments. Make sure that you take the homework on each very one. It's a good practice. And then time yourself doing it as well. Get used to answering questions in that 3.5 minute period. Ask questions. For paid students, we have a closed Facebook group. We have a public Facebook group for everybody. Email info@customersbrokergeek.com. Email us questions. We get tons of emails. Between the three of us, we like to turn them around quickly to everybody. When the class starts, we have the web calls for the paid students. We'll put a schedule out and have everyone join us on the web. We'll go through module. We'll put up what module is going to be covered, ask questions on that module, and then we open up for anybody for any questions, because not everybody studies at the same pace. Some might be at that module, some might be before that module, some could be after that module. But we like to have a topic to talk about, cover that module, but then again, you can, at the end, we open it up to any questions. At the end of each module, after you finish the homework, take the quiz. Once you pass the quiz, it'll allow you to move on to the next lesson. And again, if you get stuck, ask questions. We can't stress that enough. So here's a good saying we like to use here at Customs Broker Geek. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Henry Ford. Again, breaking up each module, we break them up into 12 modules so that you can absorb that one topic, learn it all. It's not too much to take in. You could cover it within a week. You understand it, and then you move on. And the next thing you know, after 3-4 weeks, you have 4 topics already covered. And as you keep going along, it's just one thing after another. You're going to keep learning and keep moving forward. So we wish you luck. Hope you enjoyed this module. And like I said, do the homework, take the quiz, and move on to module 2. Take care, everybody.